Page 40, Aloha Oe. At the top of the page, they are talking about rolled chords. You already know what a chord is, so we got half the battle won already. A rolled chord is where you simply roll it. Rather than playing a broken chord one note at a time. See, they're using the chords at the beginning of the piece is a C chord, right? So rather than playing the chord as a block chord or a broken chord, now it's a rolled chord. We just roll it. We play them one at a time, but quickly. You just roll the hand. Put your fingers where they go to play the chord and roll the hand. Now, there's a couple of different approaches to this. People don't agree. All right, I'm going to tell you. I'll just keep so you don't get into the arguments. Just don't worry about it. One school of thought says play the chord so the top note is on the beat. So the other notes are like pickup notes. They're like boom, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. See, like that. Another school of thought says, no, play the chord so the bottom note is on the beat. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2. See, the bottom note comes 1, 2, 1, 2. Then another school of thought, I don't know where this came from, says that you play the bottom note on the beat unless the top note is a melody, in which case you play the melody note on the beat. I just learned that one a few years ago. That was new to me. All right, I've never subscribed to that one, so you can do as you think best. I play and I teach my students when I taught. You play the bottom note on the beat most of the time. When I was in college, the only time I was allowed to play a rolled chord before the beat was when the rolled chord happened at the first beat of the piece. It was at the very beginning. Then he said, treat the notes like pickup notes, and the melody note happened to be the top, put that one on the beat. It's my limited experience at that. All the other times I've had them in any other piece, no matter what style of music or whatever it was, we played the bottom note on the beat. Some people will say sometimes this way and sometimes that way, and I don't know the rules are for sometimes this and sometimes that, so I can't teach you any of that junk. So for these lessons from me, it's going to be the bottom note on the beat. Somebody else can teach you different. That's fine. The left hand here, you get this little squiggly line that means arpeggiate it or roll the chord. It's here. And then in the second full measure there, they're not arpeggiated. They're blocked. Now they're rolled again. And blocked. Now, these are quarter notes, okay? Some people will play these, they'll play the note immediately, and the only note left is the top note. The only one you hear. Some people say a quarter note gets a full count, so you're going to hold all the notes down once you play it till the beat is over. I tend to agree with them. These are well, this is in cut time, so a half note gets a count, so quarter notes get half a count. But all the notes, once they're played, will be held down for the full length of that quarter note. So if it's a 1, 2, quarter notes are 1 and 2 and. At the beginning of this, it's so I tend to hold the notes down for the full length of it, rather than up immediately. Now, the right hand. Just follow the fingering they're telling you. It's fine. It gets a little tricky in spots. Let's take a look at the second line. The first measure is here. The second line, second measure, you're here. 4, 3. Now for the 2 C's, I recommend a 5, 4. And a third on the B, then a second on the G for the last measure. of the second line, right? And then you're back again. It's the only changing in the fingering I would recommend for this piece. Otherwise, you finger it the way they're showing. For the left hand, just finger the chords. Now I can show you a fingering style that we use in more advanced playing if you want to get into it now. Don't have to. But just so you know it's coming. Take a look at the last three measures of the first line. In the left hand, you have these chords. These are block chords. See, it's the same chord, it's different inversions, okay? In the last measure, it's a different chord, but it's inversions. Actually, there is a fingering style, and it's based on the idea that we don't want to move our hands around on the piano any more than we have to. Well, when you play these chords, you're moving your hand every time. It's unnecessary because I can reach out and do an extended position. So the little finger and thumb are playing octaves. So in that measure, the third to the last measure of the first line, there were the C chords. I can finger this. I can get all four notes involved down in one hand position. So I'd finger the first chord with a 5-4-2, and the second one with a 4-2-1. In the last measure of the first line, it would be this chord, and I would do the first one with a 5-3-2 and then a 3-2-1. Because I'm not moving the hand. Now, if you want to tackle that now, go for it. You can wait till later to tackle it. It's up to you. I don't know how well you're doing or how much you're struggling or anything, but I'm going to point it out in case you're ready for it so you can do it. Or maybe if this is the second or third time you've been through the book, you're ready for it now. I would encourage you to finger those in an extended position so you can get at least two of those chords down, the inversions, in one hand position. There's one little tricky thing they stuck in here for the left hand. Imagine that. Take a look at the last line, the first two measures in the left hand. In the first measure, it starts out with a D and a C. And in the next measure, they add an F sharp. But the D and the C are both tied. Got it? You don't play them again. You're only playing the F sharp. You're holding the others down. So it's here. 1, 2, 1, 2. A little bit about this piece. Let's see. I discussed the hands. It's fine. The phrasing, you follow the phrasing if you want, or you can follow the words and phrase it according to the words. The point is, in the right hand, we want to hear a break between the phrases. At the beginning, they got the whole first line and going into the second line as one phrase. All right, it's like the first two lines of one phrase. Well, one phrase. Fine, if that's what you want. But if you follow the commas in the sentences, you could possibly break it up a little more if you wanted to. Experiment. Now, again. See, I break that up into three phrases if I wanted to. So you can kind of, the phrasing they're showing you is the editor's or the arranger's idea, okay? Experiment and see what you think, or what you like. This is an arrangement of this piece, obviously, so you can rearrange it. After you learn to play it the way it's written, you can rearrange it. Cut time in the key of G major, 1 sharp, all F's are sharp. Let's try this out. So I'm going to give us a full 2 plus 2.5 is, I don't know how many that is, so it's just like a 1, 2, ready, and go, and 1, like so. All right, so let's see what we can do there. 1, 2, ready, and go.